Hello everyone, welcome to this interesting video on Blockchain Developer Full Course. In this video, we will explore all the important features and concepts revolving around blockchain, starting with what is blockchain, who is blockchain developer, how can one become a blockchain developer, what are the applications of blockchain, and why does it matter. Then, we will understand the complete mechanism and architecture of blockchain. Following that, we will explore some of the most important concepts of blockchain, like what are hyperledgers, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, and towards the end, we will have a look at the comparison between them. We will then conclude this video by discussing the essential interview questions and answers to help every individual clear an interview with full confidence. By the end of this video, I can assure you that all your blockchain career-related queries would have been answered. For this training, with me, I have experienced blockchain specialist Rahul and Saurabh. Together, we will take you through the various important keynotes of blockchain. So let's start with an exciting video on Blockchain Developer Full Course. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon and never miss an update from Simplilearn.
Ever wonder if there's an easier way to complete transactions without having to deal with online wallets, banks, and third-party applications? Well, it's possible thanks to blockchain. Here's everything you need to know about blockchain. Imagine four friends, Jack, Ted, Sam, and Phil, meet up for dinner. After they're done, Jack pays the bill, and all of them decide to split the expense amongst each other. Now, on the next day, when Phil sends his share to Jack via online money transfer, the transaction goes through without a hitch. Then, Ted and Sam send their respective shares to Jack, but their transactions don't go through. The failed transaction cites some issues at the bank. That's when Jack comes to know about the many ways a bank transaction could fail. It could be due to technical issues at the bank, one of their accounts were hacked, daily transfer limits being exceeded, and sometimes additional charges, like transfer charges, associated with transferring money. To solve these problems, the concept of cryptocurrency came into existence. Cryptocurrencies are a form of digital or virtual currency that run on a technology known as blockchain. Thanks to blockchain, cryptocurrencies are immune to counterfeiting, don't require a central authority, and are protected by strong and complex encryption algorithms. And in a market of more than thousands of cryptocurrencies like Litecoin, Ethereum, Zcash, and so on, one reigns supreme: Bitcoin. Now, let's go back to our previous example and have Phil, Ted, and Sam send Jack 2 Bitcoins each as their contribution to the previous night's dinner. Let's assume Phil, Ted, and Sam have 3 Bitcoins in reserve, while Jack has 5. First, Phil sends 2 Bitcoins to Jack. A record is created in the form of a block. The transaction details between them is permanently inscribed in this block. This record also holds the number of Bitcoins each of the friends own. So, after Phil's transaction, Jack has 7 Bitcoins, while Phil has 1. Following this, Sam and Ted send 2 Bitcoins to Jack. A new block is created for each of these transactions. These blocks hold the transaction details as well as how many Bitcoins Sam, Ted, and Jack have in reserve. These blocks are linked to each other, as each of them takes reference from the previous one for the number of Bitcoins each friend owns. This chain of records, or blocks, is called a ledger, and this ledger is shared among all the friends, which acts as a public distributed ledger. This forms the basis of blockchain. So, what happens when Phil has only 1 Bitcoin left, and he tries to send 2 more Bitcoins to Jack? The transaction will not go through. This is because all his friends have copies of the ledger, and it's clear that Phil has only 1 Bitcoin left. His friends will flag this transaction as invalid. A hacker will not be able to alter the data in the blockchain because each user has a copy of the ledger. The data within the blocks are encrypted by complex algorithms. All of this is made possible with the help of blockchain technology. Blockchain can be described as a collection of records linked with each other, strongly resistant to alteration, and protected using cryptography. Now, let's have a closer look at the Bitcoin transaction between Jack and Phil and find out how it works. Every user in the Bitcoin network has 2 keys, a public key and a private key. The public key is an address that everyone in the network knows of, like an email address of a user. The private key is a unique address that only the user has knowledge of, something like a password. First, Phil passes the number of bitcoins he wants to send to Jack, along with his and Jack's unique wallet address through a hashing algorithm. All of this is part of the transaction details. These details are encrypted using encryption algorithms and using Phil's unique private key. This is done to digitally sign the transaction and to indicate that the transactions came from Phil. This output is now transmitted across the world using Jack's public key. With this, the message or transaction can be decrypted only by Jack's private key, which only Jack has knowledge of. Different cryptocurrencies use different hashing algorithms. While Bitcoin uses the SHA-256 algorithm, Ethereum, which is also a famous cryptocurrency, uses one known as Ethash. This transaction and several other similar ones are taking place all around the world. These transactions are validated and then added block by block. The people who validate these blocks are called miners. For a block to be validated and added to a blockchain, miners need to solve a complex mathematical problem. The miner who solves this first adds the block to the blockchain and is rewarded with 12.5 bitcoins. The process of solving the complex mathematical problem is called proof of work, and the process of adding a block to the blockchain is called mining. With this, Phil and Jack's wallets are updated, just like every person in the network who has completed a transaction. Now that you know about blockchain and its important concepts, time for a small quiz. What is the concept of blockchain that ensures data cannot be altered by any of the users within the network? A. Public distributed ledger. B. Proof of work. C. Proof of stake. D. Hash encryption. Let us know what you think is the right answer in the comments below. Let's have a look at how Walmart uses blockchain to provide its customers with better service. Walmart was facing problems in delivering quality products to its customers. They were facing a high return rate and large amounts of refunds due to their products' bad quality. They were unable to determine the point of failure in the supply chain, which started from farm to storage to transportation to processing all the way to the customer. Then, Walmart adopted blockchain technology. With blockchain, the quality of the goods at each step was permanently inscribed within a block. For example, when a customer flags a product as damaged, it can be correctly identified where the product got damaged in the entire supply chain, thus helping Walmart to identify the problem areas and fixing them. And this is just one of several ways blockchain is used in real-life application.
Ray is a tech-savvy guy and loves to spend most of his time exploring the web on his laptop. One fine day, he was going through an article on futuristic gadgets, and suddenly, he noticed an ad for the PS5 popping right beside the article. He found it a little strange as he recalled searching for that just a few hours ago. Later that day, he came across some suggestive ads popping up related to buying future-leading gadgets. And that is when he freaked out, thinking, how can it be possible that what he was searching for just a few hours or days ago on the internet is now suggesting ads related similar to them? So he thought of going to his elder brother Aaron, who is a software engineer in an MNC. Upon understanding the situation, he explained to Ray that all of this is happening because we are in an era of Web 2.0. It all started in 1994 when Web 1.0 was introduced to the internet. Basically, Web 1.0 was all read-only content that was not interactable and was similar to a huge Wikipedia page. But after a few years, in 2004, Web 2.0 came into the picture. Web 2.0 made the internet much more interactive because of developments in web technologies such as JavaScript, HTML5, CSS3, and others, which allowed companies to create interactive web platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Wikipedia, and many more. He further added that when we seek out information or data of any kind from any web platforms present on the internet, simultaneously unknowingly, we also provide them with information related to our choices and interests, which are stored in cookies, which later they sell to various companies who make use of this data to advertise exactly what you are looking for. And this is how Ray was able to see ads of his concerned interests. Ray was fascinated by how the internet has evolved and how it works amazingly. But at the same time, he was concerned about the lack of privacy offered by it. Ray, out of his concern, asked Aaron, "Is there any way that one can get rid of the loopholes of the current Web 2.0? When Aaron answered yes, there are a lot of ways to do that, using Tor browser, incognito mode, etc. But these are not permanent solutions, and there can be fluctuations in their reliability. But this scenario can be changed not just for you, but for everyone using the internet, with the help of Web 3.0. Ray was curious about it and asked, "What is Web 3.0? Aaron explained that Web 3.0 is the next step in the evolution of the internet, allowing it to process data with near human intelligence through the use of artificial intelligence and blockchain technologies that run innovative programs to help users by providing them with their relevant choices. It's a significant step toward open, trusting, and permissionless networks." Aaron further added, "To fully comprehend this, we must first explore the 4 key features of Web 3.0. First is decentralization. Blockchain will help decentralize data storage while also establishing trust in the virtual world. Because Web 3.0 allows information to be retrieved based on its content, it can be kept in several locations simultaneously, making it decentralized. This would dismantle the vast databases currently maintained by internet giants like Facebook, now Meta, and Google, giving more power over people. Second is trustful and permissionless. Web 3.0 will also be trustful and permissionless, which means that participants will be able to interact directly without the need for a trusted intermediary or permission from a governing body. Due to this, you can access any data relevant to your choice without any permission from any other node or third party. For example, if you are researching for some data, you don't need to accept its cookies, or you don't need to provide any sort of details, as there is a trustful bond between you and the web. Third is artificial intelligence and machine learning. In Web 3.0, through technology based on semantic web ideas and natural language processing, computers will be able to understand the information in the same way that people do. For example, "I love Paris" and "I heart Paris" may seem different in syntax. However, their semantics are nearly identical. This will help the user to achieve more relevant content to their choices and will provide them ease with internet browsing. Fourth is connectivity and ubiquity. In Web 3.0, the internet will be accessible to everyone, anywhere, at any time, because IoT, Internet of Things, technology will launch in several new smart devices. These internet-connected devices will no longer be limited to PCs and smartphones, as they were in Web 2.0. Understanding the shortcomings of Web 2.0, corporates like Amazon, Apple, and Google are transforming their existing services into Internet 3.0 apps that abide by these 4 principles. Siri and Wolfram Alpha are 2 applications that use Web 3.0 features. After learning about this, Ray was relieved by the fact that Web 3.0 is going to bring so much of a difference, not just in his life, but also to the society as a whole. So, here's a question for you. How is Web 3.0 related to blockchain? A. It helps create smart contracts for web pages on the internet. B. It helps Web 3.0 store its data in the blockchain. C. It offers a decentralized experience to its users. D. All of the above. Please take a minute to think about it and leave your answers in the comments section below. Web 3.0 will offer a more personalized and customized surfing experience, and a smarter and more human-like search assistant, and other decentralized benefits, all of which are believed to contribute to a more fair web. This will be accomplished by giving each user control over their data, resulting in a richer overall experience. In a nutshell, the internet will become considerably more intertwined in our daily lives when Web 3.0 arrives.
Let's get started with who is a blockchain developer. A blockchain developer is a person who is responsible for developing and hence enhancing blockchain-related applications, famously known as dApps, smart contracts, architecture, and protocols. For those who don't know what blockchain is a system of recording details of transactions in a block taking place in the blockchain network. That makes it difficult or impossible to change or hack, which means they are immutable. A blockchain is essentially a digital public ledger of transactions that is copied and distributed across the entire network of computer systems on the blockchain. Basically, blockchain developers enable secure digital transactions by creating systems and applications to record and store blockchain data and prevent external changes or hacks. That brings us to what are the types of blockchain developers. There are two types of blockchain developers: core blockchain developers and blockchain software developers. Each type has its specific type of role. Let's go through them in more detail. The core blockchain developers design the protocols required to run a blockchain solution successfully, which means they are majorly responsible for the architecture development of blockchain. They are also responsible for designing consensus protocols and making high-level decisions. Blockchain software developers develop and implement the blockchain using the designs and solutions created by the core blockchain developers. They are majorly responsible for designing and implementing smart contracts and developing decentralized applications or dApps. Now let's understand what are the technical skills required to become a blockchain developer. To become a blockchain developer, you need to have a specific set of technical skills. Let's take a look at them. Understanding blockchain architecture. For starters, you should have a complete understanding of blockchain technology, its architecture, how it works, and its critical concepts like hash functions, distributed ledger technology, and consensus protocols. Next, data structure and coding. Data structures and coding are considered the most basic and essential skills required to be a fine developer. It is a must-have skill to become a blockchain developer, as it enhances your ability to play and configure blockchain according to your requirements. Development of smart contracts. Smart contracts is the most vital part of blockchain technology. The programming language Solidity is used to create smart contracts. Ethereum is the best example for smart contracts. It helps you set up the business and develop and deploy dApps using smart contracts. And at last, basic knowledge of cryptography. Blockchain secures its data by using highly effective cryptography algorithms. Cryptography helps you implement dApps and other blockchain services. Now we have covered the technical skills required to become a blockchain developer. Let's explore the roles and responsibilities of a blockchain developer. Both core blockchain developer and blockchain software developer have different roles and responsibilities. First, we will discuss the roles and responsibilities of core blockchain developer. Core blockchain developer understand and implement the features and functionalities of blockchain. They design protocols and consensus protocols for blockchain networks. They create solutions for providing security to the data stored in the blockchain network. And they make sure that the blockchain network functions smoothly and securely. Now, blockchain software developer design and implement smart contracts. They develop and deploy decentralized applications or dApps as per the requirements. Also, they look after the integration with other applications and services. Now let's dive down and explore the companies hiring blockchain developers. There is a massive demand for blockchain developers, and if you know your skills well, you will surely get a good start with your career as blockchain developer. Joining a programmers community and working on real projects will help you learn, grow, and upskill yourself. According to 2021, SignSoft, a software development company, Ripple Labs Incorporation, an American technology company that deals with the Ripple payment, Leeway, a software development company for startup and enterprises, Chromaway, a blockchain technology company, OpenLedger, a decentralized financial platform used to convert bitcoins to smart coins, and IntellectSoft, a company specialized in providing software products and integrated solutions, are a few top companies who hired blockchain developers to work on blockchain technology. Now that we know about the demand of blockchain developers worldwide, let's figure out the average salary of a blockchain developer in both the USA and India. In the USA, the average salary of blockchain developer is over $157,000 per year. And in India, it ranges from 5 lakh rupees to 30 lakh rupees per year. So this is all about Who is a blockchain developer?
Hi guys, I'm Rahul from Simplilearn, and today I'm going to tell you how you can become a blockchain developer. Now before we begin, let's see the current situation of the market. 84% of companies are now dabbling into blockchain. Blockchain is the fastest growing skill in the US freelance job market. Apple's Steve Wozniak is getting involved with blockchain projects, and JP Morgan's CIO believes that blockchain will replace existing technology. As we can see, with the amount of focus organizations are putting on blockchain and what tech influencers around the world have to say about it, we can see clearly that they really believe that blockchain can have a tremendous positive impact on our lives and the market as a whole. So it's no surprise that blockchain has worldwide acclaim now. It's created a huge number of job opportunities across the world. And one such job is that of a blockchain developer. So here's what we're going to learn today. Who is a blockchain developer? What are the types of blockchain developers? The steps you have to follow to become a blockchain developer? The obstacles you might face while learning blockchain? The salaries offered to blockchain developers? And how companies are using blockchain right now? So, who is a blockchain developer? A blockchain developer is someone who designs, implements, and supports a blockchain network. So in a way, they are responsible for setting up the blockchain network and then ensuring that it works properly. They create and optimize blockchain protocols. For example, is the network a public network? They create such protocols and then optimize it based on their usage or requirement. They develop distributed applications and smart contracts on the blockchain network. Now, let's talk about the different types of blockchain developers. So they fall under two major categories: core blockchain developers and blockchain software developers. A core blockchain developer works on the core features and the architecture of the blockchain network. Basically, they're in charge of the entire blockchain network. They manage the architecture of the network, supervise the blockchain network. They work on consensus algorithms. For example, there's the proof of work algorithm in Bitcoin, and set up blockchain protocols. A core blockchain developer works very much like a core web developer. Now, the main thing is that they both work on core concepts. Now, just like blockchain developers work on protocols, you have web developers working on protocols like HTTP or TCP/IP and so on. Now, let's talk about a blockchain software developer. Now, they work on blockchain to create applications. Now, they create smart contracts, develop distributed applications, and work on the front and back end application development. Blockchain software developers are also very similar to web application developers. Both of them create applications on a network that's already set up by core developers. So how do you become a blockchain developer? So before you start off on your path to becoming a blockchain developer, there are some things that you really have to know. Now we're going to talk about the prerequisites. First up, you have programming languages. Now, it is absolutely necessary that you be well versed in programming languages before you can get onto blockchain development. Most blockchains are created in languages like Java, C++, JavaScript, Go, Python, C#, and so on. So let me emphasize how important it is that you know programming languages. Now, for core blockchain development, any of these aforementioned languages will do the job for you. However, in case you have to create distributed applications and smart contracts on Ethereum, it is mandatory that you learn the programming language Solidity. Then you need to understand the fundamentals of object-oriented programming. Now, the concepts of object-oriented programming, which anyone who codes will know, is the wrapping up of data and functions into a single unit. This is exactly what blockchains function on. For example, you have the Ethereum block here. It has two components, data and function. The user details act as the data. Now, this data includes the person who's sending the transaction or how much money they're planning to transfer. Then you have the function, which is the command to send and receive payments. Then you need to learn about flat and relational databases. Now, blockchain was created on the basis of these two types of databases. A flat database stores data in a single table structure, and a relational database uses a number of tables and can cross-reference records across tables. So it is necessary that you understand how these two databases work to completely understand how blockchain was created from their concepts. Then you need to learn what data structures are. You need to understand the working of data structures like stack, linked list, queue, and so on. This is because blockchain by itself is a backlinked list. Each block in a blockchain references the previous block. Now, this is done by a field in the block's header known as the previous hash that holds the hash value of the preceding block. Knowledge about web application development. By being well versed in web app development, you're opening yourself to a wide range of opportunities to create web and mobile applications using blockchain technology. Because regardless of whether the application works on blockchain technology, the front end can be created only with web application development. Then you need to know about networking. Blockchains work on the internet. So you need to understand the many concepts regarding networks. For example, how systems are able to communicate with each other, how the network works, and so much more. Now, after you're done with all of this, you're ready to start your journey to become a blockchain developer. The first step is to understand the concepts of blockchain. Now, Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper, Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, gives a detailed account on how Bitcoin works and introduces us to the concept of blockchain. So if you want to learn firsthand how blockchain works from the creator of Bitcoin himself, I would suggest you go to Satoshi Nakamoto's paper. Next, you need to learn important terms related to blockchain. For example, what is a miner? What is a block? What is a public distributed ledger? Hash encryption, proof of work, mining, and so much more. Then you can learn how systems other than Bitcoin like Ethereum, Hyperledger, Hashgraph, and so on use blockchain to work with their technology. The second step involves understanding the economics behind cryptocurrencies and blockchain. Blockchain technologies work on crypto economics, which is nothing but the combination of two words, cryptography and economics. Cryptography in blockchain involves hashing, digital signatures, and proof of work. Hashing is involved in maintaining the privacy of a user within the network. This is made possible with the help of cryptographic algorithms. For example, in Bitcoin, we have the SHA-256 algorithm and ET-hash in Ethereum. Digital signatures help validate a particular user within the network. This is made possible with the combination of the user's public and private keys. Proof of work involves miners around the world trying to solve a complex mathematical puzzle to be able to add a block to the blockchain. On the economic side, you need to understand how miners are incentivized. The users who add and take part in the blockchain are given cryptocurrencies. Now, people who take decisions also have the right to charge a fee for their service. For example, if a person has a block and he has to decide what transactions he's going to add to that block, he has the right to charge you some amount of money if you want your transaction to be added to his block. Good users of the network are rewarded with monetary compensation or the ability to take decisions. Bad users of the network have to pay a fine or have their rights to take decisions stripped away. Step 3 is to understand how cryptocurrencies work. With cryptocurrencies, there's a whole number of steps before a process is complete. You need to understand how each and every step works. For example, first, how a sender begins the transaction to send money to the receiver, how the message is encrypted and transmitted across the network, how miners are able to verify that transaction, how the block is added to the blockchain, how money is deducted from each of the participants' wallets. You need to understand the relationship between each and every step of the process and how they interact with each other. Step 4. Getting some hands-on experience. Now, after you're done with all the steps that I mentioned before, this one's the hardest, practical application. So even if you know all the theory, if you don't have any practical experience, it won't have a very large impact. So you need to start coding and creating your own smart contracts. You need to create your own distributed applications on the Ethereum platform. Also, let me remind you, for you to be able to create smart contracts or distributed applications, you need to have learned the programming language Solidity. And finally, you can invest in Bitcoins or other cryptocurrencies so that you can have an understanding of how they actually work. Now, it's very important that you also keep yourself updated regarding cryptocurrencies and blockchains and Bitcoins by reading up on blogs and forums. You can take part in Discord chat rooms. You can use the Telegram application, which has a very active community on cryptocurrencies and blockchain. You can involve yourself in subreddits like r/blockchain, r/bitcoin, and other related subreddits. You can get on CoinMarketCap that talks about market capitalizations of several cryptocurrencies, CoinMarketCal, and so much more. There's an abundance of resources on the internet that you can take advantage of. Now, let's talk about the obstacles that you might face while learning blockchain. Now, you've noticed that blockchain isn't very easy. There's a lot of content to cover. Now, to make matters worse, you could also face some of these problems. First of them is